Yeah, well, like Jason said, happy New Year to everybody. Hope your holiday weekend was great. You spent some time with your family, but more importantly, we want to talk this year about making safety our New Year's resolution as we move from 2021 into 2022. So first off, I thought I'd just cover some statistics that I found about resolutions in general. Um, we all make them, right? I make a New Year's resolution every year to do something, get healthier, work out more, go to the gym, stop swearing, be nice to my kids, whatever it is. We all make resolutions, or at least many of us do. And just some statistics that I found that were interesting. That after 1 week, 75% are still successful with those resolutions. After 2 weeks, that number drops a little bit to 71%. After 1 month, you're down to 64%. And after 6 months, you're at 46%. What I thought was really interesting, though, is as you look at some similar goals, folks who have made actually a goal and versus a resolution. A resolution, in this study was something different. They wrote it down, they committed to it versus a goal. When somebody made a goal and didn't make it a resolution per se, after about 6 months, they were down to 4% of people who actually kept those goals versus 46% for keeping resolutions. So what we want to do today is not make safety our New Year's goal, right? We want to make safety our New Year's resolution, because that will help us, hopefully within 6 months' time, be closer to this 46% and hopefully higher number than the 4% when we make similar, just a goal to happen. First, though, I want to talk about 2021 and how we did. In 2020, we here at the Trust, we saw 1,794 claims. In 2021, we saw 1,637 claims. So you can see here, that's down over 150 claims. So nice job to you guys. Nice job to you and your organizations and working with your teams. You guys have done a great job with making safety a priority in your organizations. Now what we want to do is we want to keep this momentum going as we move into 2022. So what about 2022? You could use this New Year's resolution generator if you want and pick something, keep using the term derivative before Pilates, whatever. We want to make some kind of a great resolution happen this year. What I thought we could talk about today was about some quick resolutions or quick things that we could make for 2022 in our organizations and personally in our own lives. So some things that we'll cover today is make time to prioritize safety. Maybe that could be a resolution. Provide safety training to your employees. Ensure you have documented safety policies. You have the employees know them. Hold regular safety meetings. Checking your PPE and your equipment. Practicing defensive driving and being aware of your surroundings. All of these things could be great resolutions as we make safety that priority this year. So first, let's talk about making time to prioritize safety. And I want to give you a little quiz just to see how we're looking here. First, what I want you to do is close your eyes. All right, everyone's got your eyes closed. Point to your nearest exit out of your building or out of your place where you're at right now. Point to your nearest fire extinguisher. Now point to your nearest first aid kit. And now point to your nearest hazard within your workspace. Now think about that. If we prioritize safety, if we make safety our priority this year, we should know all of these things, right? We should know exactly where the exits are, the fire extinguishers, the first aid kits, any hazards that are around us. What do we need to do to make safety our priority? We need to ask a lot of questions. Where am I? What are my risks? What is my escape plan? What if? Ask these questions when you're on your job. These things will help you prioritize safety and make sure that we're making safety that number one priority for the day. Also planning goes a lot into this. This guy here, I don't know if he's planning. He might be planning on not having any more children, but whatever it is, he's not planning. Plan, where are you going to go today? What are the processes you're going to go through? What risks are you going to face? What will you need to do to stay safe? Right? So maybe that's a great New Year's resolution we can all make, is making safety the priority. Maybe that's a good one for us. Another one we could look at is providing safety training. Just a quick plug for Jason coming up here in just a little bit. He's going to talk some about safety training and a safety program here in just about an hour. But I wanted to, maybe run through a few things on some safety trainings. First, identify and control your hazards and identify what your employees or yourself need to learn. Once we identify those things and identify the hazards and see what we actually need to have training on, then we can target training to what exactly we need. Use your resources to your advantage. Use the Trust YouTube channel. Use our Cantola online library and our Streamery online library. If you or your organization hasn't gotten set up with access to Cantola or access into our Streamery online library, they're completely free of charge for you and your organization, for you to use and to use for your safety training and for your other programs that you have. Get in touch with us here at the Trust. We'd love to get you set up and going with each of these programs. And lastly, our loss prevention webinars. We hold those, like Jason said, the first Monday of every month. It's not a holiday. Come in and come onto these webinars and learn with us as we provide, safety training out to our organizations. That's a great goal that we could look at, or resolution we could look at for this year, is providing that safety training to all of our employees. So we make sure we have well-trained and safe employees. Another option for us to look at today is our documented safety policies. What is our emergency action plan? And when is the last time we practiced that EAP? I know that when I was an aquatics director, this is something we practiced a lot, was our emergency action plan with our lifeguards. Just making sure that they knew exactly what to do in case of an emergency. And we practice that constantly, at least once a month, if not 2 or 3 times a month. Now, when's the last time we've actually practiced our emergency action plan? Maybe your employees know it. Maybe you know it. But when was the last time you actually got down with it and opened up the book, looked at it, and practiced it? Have you added something in your organization recently? Have you added staff? Have you subtracted staff? Have you added equipment? Have you added a building? Have you added something to your organization that isn't included in your emergency action plan? A great thing to do this year is to look at that emergency action plan and see if it needs to be revamped or reassessed to take in any changes that you've made. So a great goal for us this year, resolution maybe, that you could walk away from this meeting, is to say, let's look at our EAP. Let's practice it. Let's see if we've got to reassess it and make sure that everybody knows what to do in case we have an emergency situation come up. Hold regular safety meetings. This is another great resolution we can look at for this new year. Jason's going to talk a lot more about this here in about 45 minutes or so, but I thought I'd just give you a little tidbit of what we're gonna cover. That an effective safety meeting, it'll consist of really 3 things. Preparation, make sure that you or whoever's going to present that safety meeting is prepared on what they want to talk about. That it's scheduled, make sure it's on a schedule, make sure that employees know what it's going to be. And more importantly, have an objective, make sure they know what it's going to be about, so they can come ready and be prepared to learn about what you want to teach them in this safety meeting. And your length of time, try and keep it to 20 minutes or less. Anything more than 20 minutes, what studies have found is that in safety meetings, that it goes out the windows, right? If it's longer than 20 minutes, keep it short, keep it concise, keep it easy. Timing, try to avoid Mondays and Fridays. I know that's a little oxymoronic because we do our loss prevention webinars on Mondays, but try and avoid Mondays and Fridays for your regularly scheduled safety meetings. Mondays, people are coming back from vacation. They've got a lot of things to do. Try and avoid Mondays and Fridays. Sometimes people check out, they've had a long time, and we want them to get this safety meeting maybe at the beginning of the week, around a Tuesday, maybe, so they can implement that throughout the week. You give something to somebody, held the safety meeting on Friday at 3 p.m. right before people are about to go home. There's not a lot of time to implement that change or implement any kind of objective that you're trying to get. So look at your timing of your safety meetings. And make sure there's always a follow-up with your safety meetings, and a reminder email, a phone call, a text message, a post in the lunchroom, whatever it is. Make sure that there's some kind of follow-up to whatever the objective was of that safety meeting. What I think might be the most important aspect of this is it's regular, right? That it's a regular meeting, that employees know we in this organization, we care about safety, so we have regular safety meetings. And so when your employees know that, when that's the expectation, then we can be sure that we're going to get participation and attendance. Another thing we can do, and this is a great way to kick off the new year. One great resolution I think we could all make in walking away from here is to check our PPE and our equipment. Make sure our PPE is available and it's in good condition and it's properly used. So this is my oldest boy, Keegan. When he takes a nap, wears his safety goggles, making sure that he's safe for when his brother or his little sister come to perform a flying elbow drop right onto him as he's trying to take a nap. So the holiday season preceding New Year, like we say, it's a great time to check that safety gear and equipment. Is your safety vest still fitted properly? Or is it, maybe part of your New Year's resolution to lose a little bit of weight, like it is for me, and that vest doesn't fit anymore? So we might have to get a new one. Have your boots lost their non-skidability? Do your safety glasses still allow for clear vision, or does the helmet need to be replaced? Don't skimp on this resolution. Ensure that all your safety equipment and gear are in tip-top shape before starting work in the new year. Otherwise, it's out with the old and in with the new. We hear that a lot with New Year's, right? Out with the old me, in with the new me. Should be the same as we work through our PPE. Out with the old PPE, the broken, the cracked, the not ready for an emergency, and in with the new stuff. That's a great thing we can all, I think, look at this year as we make our resolutions, just to check our PPE at this time of year, making sure that it's in good condition and ready to be used. Because as we know, PPE is the last line of defense that we have in our organizations, right? In our job sites. And we want to make sure that that PPE is ready for us to use and for our employees to use. Maybe we can look at defensive driving. Maybe you can look at what you do as far as driving and set some goals around that, or resolutions to be safer this year. So again, this is my son, Keegan. Here he is. Look at that form. I mean, that is fantastic backing form, right? Got his head turned around all the way, looking exactly where he's going to go so he can bash this other car in his bumper cars. But I mean, I just thought this was a great photo. That is such great technique. So maybe this is something we can do, is make a goal, make a technique that we're going to commit to for this new year. Goal, I love this acronym, get out and look. It's a great thing that we can do. We see a lot of claims here at the trust around backing. So, make it a goal to get out and look. Check out your parking location. Maybe that's one of your goals, is to be healthier, right? What's a better, healthier way than parking further away than when you go into a business, parking further away when you go to a job site. So you have to walk a little bit farther each way. See, we're trying to kill two birds with one stone here at the trust, trying to help you be healthier, keeping your New Year's resolutions, as well as making safety our resolutions by choosing a good parking location, so that maybe we're park away from people, so we mitigate the need for us to back into something, or to have something happen with where we're parking. So maybe take a look at that. That might be something for you to look forward to. And lastly, don't text and drive. That's an easy resolution I think we can all make this year, is to don't text and drive. Making that safety and New Year's resolution, don't texting and driving, is a very, very easy thing we can do to make sure that, we're making safety a tip-top priority for us. Along with defensive driving, knowing that intersections can kill. And we see a lot of claims here again at the trust around intersections. And some of our resolutions that we might be able to make in this area, the 2-second rule. This is something my wife always tells me, is when we're stopped at a stoplight, you don't have to be the first person through. And I'm like, no, honey, we got to go. And so one of the things that we're trying to institute, and I'm trying to do better at this year, is giving a 2-second intersection clear. So what that means is, after the light turns green at the intersection, wait 2 seconds. Let the traffic, make sure the traffic's all clear. There's no cross traffic coming. and then go. Again, very, very simple, an easy resolution. We can walk away from this meeting and think, that's something I can do today. That's something I can take this year and do to be safer. Another thing, cover the break. You've heard Jason talk about this a lot, but covering the break as you're approaching an intersection will save lives, right? So covering that break as you're approaching, because if somebody blows that red light or takes that left turn in front of you when you're not expecting it, you've got your foot over the brake and you're ready to make a sudden movement in case that needs to happen. And always, always, always wear your safety belt. That's something, again, a nice, easy commitment that we can make here in this new year to make safety our priority. Like Keegan, you see here, he always makes sure that safety is his #1 priority when riding his ATV in the house. This is quite a few years ago. I promise I do have 2 other kids. I love them just as much as Keegan, but he seems to have the funny pictures right now. First kid, you always take all the pictures of the funny pictures of the first kid. So, and lastly, one of the things we can look for is slips, trips, and falls. How many of us had this situation maybe this morning? Slippery walkways, not knowing what was going on. I know I did. Like I said earlier, there was a water main break right outside my house, flooded the street. It was super slippery as we got out there. So being aware of the hazards that we have around, snow, ice, spills, powders, grease, whatever there is that could contribute to a slip, trip, or fall. This is, again, one of the highest claim areas that we see here at the Trust is slip, trips, and falls. So let's do what we can this year to make maybe that a resolution for us to do away with slip, trips, and falls, or at least make them a lot less frequent. Having proper footwear, and don't work at a height without the right and proper protection. So again, some very simple things that we might be able to work through in 2022 to make safety our New Year's resolution. So make time to prioritize safety, provide safety training, or take safety training if you need to. Ensure you have documented safety policies. Look at your EAPs. Make sure that you've practiced those EAPs though, and see if they need to be revamped for what has come out in 2021, what might need to be changed in 2022. Checking your PPE and equipment. That's something we all can do this year. Look at our PPE and equipment, make sure it's ready. Practice defensive driving. It's a great resolution we can all make as we're going forward. And being aware of your surroundings and slip, trip, and fall areas. Making sure that you know the ground beneath you and what's going to go on if you happen to step on that area. So I think, what we'd like to do is have you walk away from this meeting and just take one of these and just think, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make that my New Year's resolution to make safety a priority or provide safety training or whatever it is. Let's make safety our resolution for this year as we move forward into 2022. So we can continue on that trend that we're seeing. We saw a great trend last year where we lowered our claims that we saw here at the Trust. And that's to what you guys all do within your organizations. We want to see that continue. So let's make sure that we continue to make safety our #1 priority and make it a resolution this year that we do that. And that's really all that I have for you guys today. Are there any questions, Jason, that we have here in the chat room at all?
Hey folks, if you've got any questions, go ahead and type those into the chat box, and we'll have Mike answer those right now. One question that came in is, can we get a copy of the presentation, Mike?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I can send out a copy of the presentation. We'll send that out today after we get everything done here.
I'll send it along with the notifications that the recording has gone up on YouTube. So yeah, absolutely. So folks, if you've got questions or comments, type those into the chat box, or if you've got ABBA quotations, we'd like to hear those as well. I think everybody needs a little more ABBA in their life. I'm not seeing any more questions come in, Mike. How about you give us the final word?
Thank you for everything that you do, and let's go forward and make safety our New Year's resolution. So please go out, have a safe day. Any questions you have, any comments, please let us know here at the Trust. We're here for you. We're ready to help and do whatever we can to make safety at the forefront of whatever you do.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. Way to go. Good stuff here. Hey, we did have some late questions come in here. What's the difference between a goal and a resolution?
So, I think that's really up to you personally. What they found in this study, which I thought was really interesting, is that people who made a resolution, they wrote it down and they made it a priority. Whereas a goal, they made it a goal was made to do something. And maybe the goal wasn't a good goal. Maybe the goal was, I want to lose weight, right? And I can take my shoes off. I lost weight. That's a great goal. I met my goal. Yay. Right. Versus a resolution is a very specific, very targeted thing that you're looking to do to make a change. And I think that's the biggest difference between a goal and a resolution. Is a goal may not be something very specific, and a resolution is targeted to make some kind of a change either in your life or in somebody's life around you.
Awesome. Good stuff. Thank you. A few more questions here. Let's see. Oh, I think these are probably ABBA quotes. Count on me, me too. And let's see. Oh, this was directly to me from Juan. Juan, if you're still on, yes, I submitted your CEU request to the state, both water and wastewater. But I did not do that until this last week. I was catching up over the weekend between Christmas and New Year's. And so it was submitted to the state. You may want to check with them and make sure that everything's good, but I got a receipt from them. So that's all the information that I have for you, but I did submit that. Any other questions? Let's see, looks like Juan got that. Thank you, folks. If you're interested in the presentation that I'm doing on the elements of an effective safety program, that'll be in a half hour. You can go to our website, utahtrust.gov, and click on training and events, and then you can sign up there and go to that. If you have any issues, send me an email before start time, and we can get you out a hot link that you can get into the meeting. Folks, thanks so much. Mike, awesome job. Have a safe day out there, and we'll see you soon.